Hello there, I'm Artsy Gamer 7 and welcome back to another video here on the channel. So this is going to be like the before the mini series that I've been leading up to with my D&D Mansion build and the D&D Creative Sim series. This is the mini series that I wanted to give a try and sort of came up with, and as these two series were leading to, I was building the mansion that all the characters from the Creative Sim were going to be living in, and obviously, like I just mentioned, I was creating the characters in a CAS series, which were characters that I have come up with. They're D&D characters that they have like backstories and like all this other stuff. I mentioned their stories briefly in their Creative Sims, as well as some of the like what class they would be and subclass, and how some of those decisions made these characters what they are. And then also I show a picture of my drawing, because actually all the D&D characters that I have come up with, I draw eventually if I haven't already done them. I have way too many D&D characters that I've come up with over time. So there is a lot of them that are written down in words and like in my head that do not have a drawing yet, but all the characters in this series did have a drawing. So you can feel free to go check out those videos. There will be a link down in the description below for the build series, as well as the CAS series. At the end of the build series, there is a screenshot video that came out last week, I believe. So you could go back and watch that if you want to see the screenshots. I'm just using this as like sort of a tour to sort of see the whole house again, but also sort of have a feeling of the layout. The characters are also in their rooms in the background, so you could sort of see them as well, chilling out, doing their thing. But this is sort of to explain the basis of the rules and like my plan going forward for this series. So, like I said, I'm planning on treating it sort of like a reality series. I don't plan on controlling them, but very, very little things like that they sort of need to do, like make sure that the pet bowls are filled and stuff like that. If I need to do that, or if somehow the weirdness of Sims gets them stuck or trapped somewhere, I will teleport them or help free them from wherever they're trapped. So, like, little things like that I will take control, but for the most part, we're going to be watching this like a series, and I'm going to sort of be, like, commentating over it and watching with y'all to see what happens. My original hope and plan was to eventually have them have 5 traits that come out of CAS, but one of the things that I didn't think of is I started adding them all to the household. And I have to use MCC to up the amount of people that, one, can spawn in an area, but also can live in a household together. And once you do that, once you get over 8, you cannot go into Creative Sim mode. I mean, you can, but it won't work properly, and I don't know if it's still a thing. But I know in the past with MCC, if you upped it above 8, anyone who didn't load in the CAS just is deleted out of the game completely. Like, they don't exist. It's not that they're, like, tossed out of the household and they become homeless or something. They're just gone. Just gone. Bye. So, I didn't want to do that. So, I won't be doing the traits thing, but I did go through and give them any reward traits that I think would make fitting for their race or their backstory, personality, that sort of situation. I also went through and gave them skills based off of their stories, their personality, so on and so forth. I also made sure that any of the characters that are supposed to be, like, related, whether it's, like, brother, sister, or friendship, like travel buddies, I made sure that their relationships are set to, like, friends, or lovers, or exes, whatever it may be. I have got that all set for every character so that everyone already has some connections to some people in here, and then they'll also obviously just be in housemates, they're acquaintances with everyone. So everyone in the house at least slightly is aware of everyone. I also eventually went through it. I did it after this video. I wish I would have thought of it before. I did little photos of all the characters and put them outside their doors so that, you know, in a reality show type thing, you know, there's a way to identify, oh, this room is this person's, and obviously I can't go and write their names and put on a plaque on the door. So I thought a picture near their door is the next closest thing to be like, hey, this is Forsythia's room. Look at her picture right beside the door of her room. So yeah, I did do that after this video and stuff, but I got things set up and ready to go. Now, I did mention some of my plans in like the build mode videos especially, but because these are my D&D characters, I do want to have sort of a D&D twist. So I did go through and look at the layout and look at all the different rooms. I wrote them down and put them from like 1 to 19. I didn't do 20 because I'll explain here in a moment. So, like I had been mentioning, I am going to roll a dice to keep that D&D theme. And with the rooms, I have them laid out. These are rooms that they'll have access to throughout the days. And hopefully, you know, it won't slowly drive some of the Sims crazy if they only get access to certain rooms. Now, when it comes to the kitchen and like food and stuff, if I have to, I will like cheat food up to their room and just act like, you know, there's a person that's bringing food. I am going to have like a maid service come out, and every once in a while I will have one of them call like a repairman just to make sure things are running in the house. Like, you know, if this was a reality show, they probably have someone coming out to check on these things and stuff like that. Now, I know a lot of them don't have like a maid to clean them up, but like honestly, this is such a big mansion that I do not foresee this house staying clean even with a maid. I'm just saying, there's 30 some Sims in this household and there's only going to be like one maid. So there are some Sims that are potentially going to be a little bit neater. I actually have a few of them that have the reward trait where they're like a speedy cleaner. So who knows? Some of them may take it upon themselves to help the maid service, but we'll just see. We'll see what happens. But this is just to sort of add a little twist to it, and also like to bring in the dice, because I wanted to find a way to bring in the dice just because it was a D&D originally based off of my D&D characters, so I felt like it would be interesting to like somehow incorporate them. But basically every sim day I will cut, this won't be like a part of the recording, I will just mention who got what numbers and stuff like that, but I am going to have a dice for each character, and I will roll it for each sim morning, and depending on what they roll, depends on what rooms they get access to. If they roll like a nat 1, they have to stay in their bedroom. I will bring food to them as needing, but otherwise, they're trapped in their bedrooms. They can't come out, they can't speak to their friends and stuff, they lose access to like bring up skills or anything like that. But then, like, if you get to, like, 10, you have access to some of the, like, obviously the living room, kitchen. They get access to at level 2. So if you hit 2, if they roll at least a 2, they'll get the living room, the kitchen, the dining way, like, stuff like that. And the washroom. But, like, once you get up to 10, you get that. Plus, you get, like, the access to the balconies, the paranormal room, like, the karaoke room. I did it based off of, logically, Sims speaking, what would they gravitate towards? Now, real humans being put into this house, it may be a slightly different situation. But obviously, Sims are programmed a certain way, and actually, because while I was trying to do some of this stuff, I noticed a few Sims trying to go to the bowling alley on their own, which I don't think I've had a Sim household that had just had a bowling alley in their house. But because of that, I realized Sims gravitate towards those said bowling alleys. So that's higher up on the list. It's like number 17. Library is number 19 because it has the computers in it. No other room but the library has the computers in it, and we all know that Sims love the computers. You can have a guest over, they won't pay one bit of attention to you, and they'll just stay on your computer the whole entire time. It's really, really annoying in all honesty. But yeah. But then, if they ever roll a 20, they get to go out, as I would say. They get the pass to Saturday's activities. And I'm not exactly sure what all I'm going to do for Saturday's activities. I know what my plans are is to be like Sunday through Tuesday be one episode, and then Wednesday through Friday be another episode, and then Saturday be an episode all on its own, because it would be more things going on with my plans, and also maybe I'll have some mild control over it, because like maybe, you know, with reality shows sometimes there's like a little game thing where like they get rewards, or they get to have like a person like choosing of like what they want to do or whatever. They get the gym all access to themselves or something. So I might try to incorporate something like that. Let me know down in the comments below if you think like maybe on Saturday not only do they have like a going out thing and get to do stuff, but maybe also have like a little game thing where they get to have a bonus the next week or whatever. And I think I'm going to do this. It's like a mini series for now. If it's really well liked, then I might continue it, or at least I might eventually make a whole new house and whole new Sims to go into it. I probably will dial back the scale of it. Probably won't be as many Sims or as big of a house, depending on how this one goes. I partially went large just because originally with my Create a Sim, I couldn't stop myself from making some of my D&D Create a like Sims. But also, there's a part of me that's afraid that there wouldn't be enough drama with a small amount of Sims. And I want drama. I want things to happen. But we'll just have to see. Now, obviously, the first week is going to be a little because some Sims are going to be building up relationships. I'm also hoping relationships form. Now, obviously, these are my D&D characters, and there's probably going to be some relationships that I would never put together myself, but I'm intrigued to see what happens. So, we'll figure out. I also have some of the characters I have made people that are part of their backstory but are not like a main character. Like Nyx's sister is free roaming the world. Drax's ex, I think with the way like I imagine their society, there wasn't necessarily marriage, but it was just assumed that they were together and it was just them two. But his significant other, ex-significant other, who tried to do horrible things. Well, she succeeded actually doing horrible things and took off with their daughter. They exist in the world somewhere. So every once in a while they'll probably get calls from those people depending on the situation. Like with his situation and his backstory, he's looking for them. So if he gets a call from them, I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna ignore it. We're all gonna ignore it. We're just gonna act like it's not happening. But you know, if he runs into them out in the wild, that's a totally different thing. Like when they go out on Saturday, if he gets to go out on Saturday, that's a totally different story. That's free game. If he wants to like tackle her, that's fine. Whatever. I don't know if he will, but we'll see. But yeah. I also know, like, Ira, she lost her child, but her child is still alive. If her child calls her or tries to make contact with her, I'm going to ignore it. She is one of her goals is to finding her. So, you know, we have two people looking for their kids in this household, but it's from very different circumstances why they lost their kids. One is a tad bit more dramatic than the other. They're both dramatic. My husband says that I like making edgy characters, but anyway, they both lost their kids in dramatic ways, but one is a little bit more worse off than the other. If you go and watch their backstories or even the creation of Drax's room especially, you'll sort of understand where I'm going with this. But yeah. So yeah, I got a lot of things that I've done in the background for this series, and I'm hoping that it turns out fun for everyone and entertaining for everyone. I don't know what's gonna happen at all. Like, technically in my female gaming legacy and my Not So Berry, I don't fully know what's gonna happen, but I have clear goals in mind, and I have things that I'm gonna work to, and semi-plans, like, okay, this episode, I want to get this and this and this done. Or at least get closer to this, and this. In this one, I'm just letting the Sims be themselves and do what they want to. And I don't know what's going to happen. I will say, surprisingly, with as many Sims that is in this household, and with how big this house is, the game is running pretty smoothly for me. The only issue I run into is going into build mode and then coming back out of build mode. There's a big lag issue connection there, but luckily during this mini series, I won't be going in and out of build mode. I mean, the only circumstances I could foresee that happening is if Sims are not able to access something, and the thing is I'm not going to be telling them to go places, so technically that shouldn't be an issue. I know they for surely all can get to their beds. They can get to a lot of the activities that are in their rooms. The only thing I'm not sure about is all the activity rooms themselves. I'm not sure if they can get access into everything in those rooms, but hopefully it is all good and go. From what I could tell, what little bit of stuff I've seen so far, we should be good. We should be fine. But yeah, definitely looking forward to what's gonna happen. I'm hoping to go ahead and record the first episode here soon. I got my dice over here ready to go. I don't know if you can hear them. They're actually pretty close to the mic, so you should be hearing them. I have a lot of dice, so I'm totally not a dice goblin. Totally not. But anyway, yeah. So I'm getting ready to go and hopefully see who gets access to what rooms. For the first day, I'm tempted to round up so that they at least get a feel of what the house is like and we get a feel of what the Sims might do. So I might be a little generous to them. I might give them 3 rolls and I'll take the highest number or something, but which would be for Sunday. But the rest of the day is not so much. But yeah, as this series goes on, definitely let me know your thoughts on the series. If you would like me to continue it or eventually do it with new characters and a new building and things like that, and any ideas you have. If you would like to see the little game thing on Saturday, maybe I can build an obstacle course for them or something. I don't know. We'll figure this out. But yeah, just let me know any ideas that you have down in the comments below. Typically right now I am still pre-recording episodes, but I'm not usually super far ahead. So if you're for instance for Female Gaming Legacy, if it's the 25th episode of Amicia, then I've probably only recorded 26 after it. Maybe 27. I definitely wouldn't have 28. So I'm not 3 episodes ahead. I'm only 1 or 2 episodes ahead. So definitely feel free to leave some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts and ideas. And if you're looking forward to this series, I definitely know I am. And I'm ready to go. I'm hoping that it turns out well and it doesn't let me down. But we're going to see how the game does. I know the Sims and stuff are moving fluidly as long as I don't go into build mode. So we should be good to go. But we'll see. And also, if there's any mod suggestions, things that help them autonomously do some things, maybe it won't help necessarily with this mini-series, but if I do eventually do another one, more autonomous options, autonomously go try to brew a potion, or autonomously go do yoga, or autonomously go do, programming or editing, let them, the skill ones, I don't mind Sims building skills on their own. So, but yeah, anyway, I also am intrigued to see if anyone gets anywhere in their aspirations. I know some of them already have, just because some of them were fortune aspirations, so the build, there's so much money in reserve, blah 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 blah, or they're already a parent, blah 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 blah. But they haven't reached past to the next stage of that aspiration. They just got a little tick mark off of one of the things for the very first aspiration. But yeah, so hopefully you're looking forward to this. Hopefully I explain things sort of well. Obviously I'll go over them slightly in the first episode as well. Not as in detail and not as much. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you at the start of this mini-series and on other videos here on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on the mini-series. And comment, You know that lovely YouTube goodiness, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But until then, bye bye!